There are two similar meanings from where fascism originated. In ancient Rome, the word fascistus is a symbol of state authority, and the word fascistus meant an axe and a bundle of rods. In Italy, the word fascio meant unit or detachment. The role of fascist government was to prepare the nation for armed conflict and to respond to economic difficulties. Fascism is a form of government where there is a one-party dictatorship.
Economic freedom exists but is very limited in a fascism ideology. Individuals are able to have their own private property. While having private property, they are able to compete with other privately owned companies. As an example, Jewish people were really great businessmen until Hitler took over and used them as a scapegoat, resulting in a limited amount of Jewish businesses. There is maximum political control by the government. Hitler's use of propaganda created an image of a new and improved Germany. During the election, he promised to overturn the Treaty of Versailles and to give Germany its pride, and this was trying to create an Aryan society. Hitler created an image for himself by censoring the media, to get people to wonder and to make him look more powerful than he is. Hitler wanted the citizens to see him as a god, so by doing that, he demanded the artists to draw him as a godlike figure, but soon later, when the citizens attended one of his rallies, they were shocked to see that he had imperfections just like everyone else.
People suffered under the harsh rule of an authoritarian regime. The social aspect is how society is structured or organized. In a fascism ideology, some are believed to be better than others. Hitler was an example of this. He believed in the concept of us versus them, us being the Nazis and them being the Jews. He influenced the majority of Germans' point of views against the Jews by telling them don't be nice to the others, or you can become one of them. This is where the idea of social Darwinism comes to play. The Holocaust is one of the biggest genocides that took place during 1941 to 1945 in Nazi Germany. Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany killed about 6 million Jews. The victims included 1.5 million children and 2/3 of 9 million Jews who reside in Europe.
The role of the government in a fascism ideology is to build the nation. They wanted to get more powerful so they can build more colonies and create a bigger nation. They could achieve this goal by blaming everything on the economic problems that Germany had at the time, which included the Treaty of Versailles. Some techniques that were used included finding someone to blame, which is also known as a scapegoat. He also held rallies and gave powerful speeches. He also exiled dissidents, and he used military to create a climate of fear.
The role of the citizens in a fascism ideology is to obey the leader. The citizens had to support the leader's speech or they would be imprisoned or executed.
The fascism ideology came into conflict during World War II, which started from 1939 to 1945. After World War I, Germany suffered a great loss, and because of that, they had to pay war debt. The Treaty of Versailles required Germany to pay a lot of money to the Allied powers for all the damages the war has caused. This form of payment is also known as war reparations. The war debt prevented Germany's economy from rising, which resulted in economic depression. Due to the economic downturn that was happening in Germany, the Nazis had an unexpected opportunity to come into power. The Nazis' leader was Adolf Hitler, and his goal was to conquer the world. Adolf Hitler promised his followers that he would cure economic crisis as a strong and respected nation. The fascism ideology has always been in conflict with the liberalism ideology due to the fact that they have been on different sides since the start of World War I.
Liberalism and communism versus fascism came into conflict because fascism was becoming too powerful and were close to achieving their goal of imperializing the world, so that both the Soviets and the United States came together and defeated the Nazis. Liberalism and communism also came together to defeat fascism because of their structural and ideological differences. Since liberalism is all about promoting freedom, democracy and capitalism, and communism promotes freedom for all. Everyone is equal. Meanwhile, fascism includes social Darwinism, which meant survival of the fittest. Since the fascism ideology brought more harm than good to Germany, communists and liberals decided to step in and prevent the contagious ideology that is fascism from spreading further throughout the globe.
Fascism opposes liberalism, Marxism, and communism. Hitler made alliances with both Italy and Japan because of their similarity in the political ideology. All three countries supported total control over their people and promoted invasion of other countries to increase their power. This was where the Munich Agreement was introduced to Germany. Britain and France realized that the Treaty of Versailles was unfair to Germany, and it caused them to fight back by invading countries and taking their land. Both Britain and France decided to make an appeasement with Germany, and that appeasement was the Munich Agreement. The Munich Agreement states that Germany will be given Sudetenland as long as they promise not to invade anywhere else.
Of course, Hitler betrayed the appeasement and invaded Czechoslovakia. France and Britain later realized that Hitler could not be trusted and made alliances with Poland in terms of protecting each other's land. Hitler also signed an agreement with Russia stating that they would not invade each other's land. On September 1st, 1939, Hitler invaded Poland, which was the trigger of World War II. France and Britain declared war on Germany, knowing that the alliances consisted of the Allies, which was France, Britain, Poland, and the Axis, which was Germany, Italy, Japan, and Russia. Hitler went ahead to invade Russia in June of 1941, breaking the agreement, which caused Russia to switch sides. To summarize, the Allies went to war with the Axis to prevent Germany from gaining total control over Europe. Benito Mussolini was the first to use fascism as an ideology to run a country. In Italy in the 1900s, between World War I and World War II, Giovanni Gentile founded the idea that the fascism philosophy could govern life. Mussolini was the first to use a fascist party in a government system, and from Mussolini, Hitler was inspired to use national identity to unify a country.
After World War I, the Allied powers demanded that Germany sign the peace treaty that was called the Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles required Germany to give up most of Germany's land, forbid Germany from being united with Austria. Germany had to give up their colonies and give it to France and Britain. The German army had to be reduced. Germany was responsible for the loss and damages that was caused by the war. Germany had to pay war reparations.
Because of the Treaty of Versailles, the country was thrown into chaos. The Treaty of Versailles caused Germany's economy a great loss, therefore leading them into economic depression, and this led to hyperinflation. The government was trying to fix the economic depression, but it was impossible, since the Treaty of Versailles was setting them up for failure.
In a fascist society, people are expected to accept racist ideals based upon social Darwinism, and going against these ideals meant that you are rejecting fascism, and people who have done this has been referred to as sympathizers. Oskar Schindler was the most famous sympathizer during this time due to the fact that he saved over 2,000 Jews from the gas chambers and labor camps. Oskar Schindler took advantage of the German occupation program to Aryanize and Germanize the Jewish-owned and Polish-owned businesses.
Oskar decided to buy a Jewish company which was called Record Ltd. And converted it to the German enamelware factory Oskar Schindler, which was also known as Malia. He decided to hire over 4,000 Jewish employers to work in his company and save them from brutality in concentration camps. By March 1943, he allowed his workers to sleep in the factory to avoid being taken away. Oskar Schindler would provide the guards with bribes and personal diplomacy to ensure that they are not harming the Jews.
The German SS suspected Oskar of corruption and unauthorized aid to the Jews and had Oskar arrested 3 times, but they could not find enough evidence to charge him. The Finnish resistance movement is a Finnish branch of the Nordic resistance movement. One of the main tactics is planting propaganda stickers and posters. The FRM has had a history of using violence. One of the attacks was in January of 2006 in Stockholm, a day before the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. The Nordic resistance movement held a symbolic demonstration in the Sergel Square, which consisted of them burning the flag of Israel. They hung up a banner that read, "We love Aryans."